Welcome to B&B Studios, the home of Central Coast Rugby. Let's get stuck into another week of opinions and oversights from Berner and Bathy as they bring us the latest news. Good chat, good footy, good fun. Take it away, boys.
Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the B&B Unplugging Central Coast Rugby podcast.
I was going to do the intro today.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do the intro, mate. I don't think you got any energy left.
I was going to do the intro so we didn't have to talk about my week.
Yeah, well, it was obviously a horrible week last week. So bad you couldn't even be in the studio.
Correct.
But things have obviously gotten a lot better for you in this week, haven't they?
Moving on, no.
So what's the update? Last week it was a Tuesday after the Saturday,
Well,
and you're in John Hunter car park.
let me be serious for a moment. And I don't know if we're going to put this to air, but let me be serious for the moment. We are now Monday. My son broke his leg and dislocated his knee last Saturday. So was that 9-10 days?
Roughly.
Still has not had an operation.
Still sitting in the same spot.
Correct. Still at John Hunter Hospital.
Incredibly frustrating. So all those times I asked Bathy how his week was and he gives me some hilarious response. This week is not one of those weeks.
No, it's not one of those weeks.
But you're back in the studio.
I'm
So
back.
That's the main thing.
I said, listen here, just put the surgery off one more day. I've got some B&B podcasting to do.
And they said that won't be a problem.
Yeah, correct. Well, mate, they said they see enough trauma at the hospital. What do you want to go and record something for? It's a tragedy.
Well, anyway, 2 weeks in a row that we've actually had rugby, which is good stuff.
Unheard of. Absolutely unheard of.
And 2 women's games, and we obviously got the 4 men's games there as well. And starting to see a little bit of a split, I suppose, in the competition, which we're probably didn't see as much in round 1 a little bit, but I think with a couple of the teams playing each other a bit differently, different matchups in round 2, starting to see that there's a clear split in the competition in the early days anyway.
Early days.
So do you want to get into the Erina Podiatry results around?
We could do that. Actually, you know what? Let's get into the results of the round, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. And what we will do also is we'll save our congratulations for a bit later on.
Yes.
Do not let me forget to congratulate people because we've got some pretty major announcements.
Yep.
Anyway, the results of the round, thanks to Erina Podiatry. Let's open this with Premier 1 and the Carry-On Wanderers. Absolutely put the towels through Hornsby, 54 points to 10. A hell of a lot of tries to not many.
6 tries to Sean Pruitt.
Correct. Now, I think that, well, actually, I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there, though. That may be a record, a Central Coast record.
That's huge.
Because, and I've played in a lot of, how do you respectfully say, trouncings of opposition?
Good teams.
I've played in a fair few games where we won 100 plus. And no one I ever played with scored more than 4 tries.
Yeah, I don't think I've played in
Maybe
a team
5.
or played against a team that scored that many.
So
if it's not a record, it's definitely up there in the top 3.
That's the Carry-On Wanderers I was expecting to see last week.
Yeah.
So
and the Hornsby side that I tipped obviously didn't turn up.
yeah,
That was a flip of the coin there. I don't know which way I was going, and I went Hornsby, and that was the wrong side.
So while we're talking about floggings, congratulations to Carry-On, by the way, on a big victory. Whilst we're talking about floggings, Terrigal Trojans, they gave the Red Devils an almighty welcome back into the Central Coast competition with a 93 points to 0 drumming.
Bit of an experience here from Gosford as well, because if you play at the Haven and you rack up 100 points, you would know that the scoreboard actually resets because it only goes to double digits. So another try would have reset the score to 0-all.
Do you want to give us a quick segue into your story in regards to that?
Yep. We got done. When I say we, do you know I got the 3 points that day as well? We got done 133-0. And when the scoreboard ticked over from I think it was 97, and then they scored again, so it went to 102.
You know that stupid when that stupid person behind the post goes, "Go on, let's go out like it's 0-all."
That was me. It was 2-0. You couldn't write the stuff. So when it was 2-0, we obviously thought, Rim with a bit of a chance here, and then we lost 33-0. So 33-0 is a bit of a thrashing as well. But you carry over the 100 points before it as well.
You got a double thrashing in the one game.
A double thrashing. 33 is still a big scoreline. Gosford had a chance to take off 100 points there, and it was a bit of a missed opportunity by them. Terrigal, that's probably, Gosford coming back into the competition and Terrigal just, hitting the straps very early in the season. Terrigal have had a couple of trials as well, so I don't think they were rusty. I think, they were ready to go at the start of this game. Yeah,
well, I was sort of keeping an eye on it, and I saw that, the Adam Dankert, did I send you the text? I sent someone a text saying 15 from 15.
I think he scored 36 points, 36 or 38 points.
38 points. He scored a couple of tries. So I'll just digress very quickly in a game I played in Mungo, one of the greats of the Central Coast. Mungo, I reckon it's the Central Coast record, but he has scored 44 points in one match in one of those routings when we went through carry-on. Anyway, and I'm quickly doing the maths going, Dankert could have him here, Dankert could have him. Mungo, he would 100% be sweating at that game. And I flicked through Mungo a text saying,
he'd be one of the water boys slowing the game down, slowly running the tee out to Dankert every time.
I said to Bruiser,
Vaseline on top of the
what's your record? What's your record? And I said 44. Well, he goes 44. And obviously I said, is there any time left on the clock? And thankfully for him there wasn't. So Danks just missed out on that. So look, a good old fashioned routing. I didn't see the game. I don't know what to look into it, but Gosford, well, they're there, and they're going to have a few of these as they get back on their feet into the competition.
I think what's impressive about Terrigal, and it has been for a few years, is that when there's teams that he put away, they'll put them away, and they won't take the foot off after they're 50 or 60 points in the clear. It'll keep, I was, following the updates, and it was just consistent. And it's just reset, go again, and it's consistent for 80 minutes, and that's where the thrashing sort of that comes through, and it doesn't get to that last 20 minutes, and they they put the cue on the rack and think, we're already up by a fair bit. What's more to be gained? Slow the game down. They just keep going and keep going.
Well, speaking to a few people who were at the match, they made comment on the fact that gave a lot of younger players an opportunity in first grade, and some of the younger juniors coming through, the sort of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, gave them a bit of taste of first grade. And as you just going back to your point, the pleasing thing about that is they continued to score points.
Yep. It's a good experience for those boys to play first grade and be part of that squad, that winning feeling.
All right, so let's let the floggings continue. The Lakes, 51 points, beating the Woowoi, 5.
Always scored a try this week, which is good. I think we sort of predicted that given what Warnervale did to Woowoi the week before and the missed opportunities that the Lakes had against the Razorbacks. So I don't see too much of a surprise in the scoreline there, but a bit worrying from Woowoi as well. Looking at the team sheet, it looks like there's I don't know if there's a lot of stability in the squad just there at the moment. So hopefully they can get that ironed out, and it's always hard in the first few weeks getting everyone back. And I know there's a few people that are out last week. I don't know how much that impacted this week, but that's still pretty big for a big sort of scoreline. Yeah. So I think Woowoi and Gosford this week will be a good matchup, or a much more even matchup for both of them.
Well, the Premier 2 game was more competitive for Woowoi, and they're still fielding a President's Cup side, so they're doing a lot better than some of the other clubs.
I think, and that's not the worrying thing. It's a really pleasing thing from Woowoi as a club, is that they just will not. They refuse to throw in the towel and say, no, we're not going to do this, I'm not going to do this. And they'll find the players every week to put together those sides. And I think the score lines will reflect and say, they're getting thrashed. But they'll still have those loyal people who will turn up every week and play. Regardless of their ability to win games, they're still going to put the numbers out there and, run around. And, but, in terms of results, obviously they're just not there at the moment, especially in Premier 1, which is what you're aiming for. And the Premier 2 side is obviously a bit of that tribute side for Adam that we were speaking about. So it was good. There were some images that came through on the weekend of all of Adam's mates who obviously passed last year together playing rugby again and remembering Adam through rugby and through that sport and having a beer. So that's really good that they're there. But obviously the Premier 1 results are a bit worrying.
All right, so that gets us to our last match, and from the scoreline, the most competitive. I don't have any mail about this match, but Avoca Beach beating the Razorbacks 24 points to 19, 3 tries to Josh Parrish. Yeah, I mean the Razorbacks team looked a bit more orderly this week. Sam Carney's still at 10, so not all order has been restored, but just going by the team sheets. But they had a couple of familiar faces back there in key positions as well, and we saw, Carrierung played horrible last week, and from what
Avoca was saying they weren't too happy with themselves either, so maybe it was Avoca kicking in the gear as well. But that's a really good win, because I saw the week before Razorbacks can grind out a win. They've still got the players there, and they've got so much experience to grind out that win. So for Avoca to get the win there is really important, especially as it moves, because I think they'll be sort of neck and neck as it moves through the competition. So for them to get that win there is vital.
Well, Sam Evans, it was his boot that proved the difference. He was perfect with the boot. 3 conversions, 1 try. So it was three tries apiece, and Sam Evans getting them home with their boot. So congratulations to the Avoca Beach side. So, Berner, mate, after 2 weeks of the competition, the table sits like so. We have, excuse me, we have the Lakes on top with 8, Avoca Beach with 8, Carryong 6, Terrigal 5, Warnervale 5, Hornsby 5, the Razorbacks 4, and Gosford and Woowoi yet to register a point at this point in time. So that's where we are 2 weeks into the match. There's our results of the rounds for the Premier 1, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry.
On to the women's.
Let's do it.
Right, Bathy, before we get into the results for the women's, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry, we obviously some exciting news with 2 teams merging together, Carryong Wanderers and the Razorbacks.
I'm sweating.
So we put it out there on the socials, and everyone's throwing around the names they think the teams should be. A lot of really good names, a lot of very questionable names.
Get to the winner.
Let's get to the winner. Bathy, who was the winner?
Nia Verna Piakala.
Very well pronounced.
Yes.
Bathy's sweating on that one after being given the duties.
Announce it.
And the winning name, it's going to be the Ourimbong
Wanderbacks.
The
Ourimbong Wanderbacks.
So I think we're just trying to really pay tribute to the Razorbacks home there at Ourimbong, but also keep the Carryong Wanderers as well as the Razorbacks name in there. So the Ourimbong, and that can be pronounced Ourimbong. I don't know how you want to pronounce it, Ourimbong and the Yong of Carryong.
Well, I'm very good at my punctuation, and
you're very articulate. It's one of your strengths.
Yeah, correct. So Ourimbong will be for me. Ourimbong Wanderbacks.
The Ourimbong Wanderbacks. So I think a lot of people just want to call them the Wanderbacks, but I think the Ourimbong Wanderbacks, if you're looking for a specific location, and Ourimbong is, considered anywhere between Ourimbong and Carryong, Pete's Ridge sort of area.
So congratulations, Nia, on sending through that name. You can DM us here at the podcast with your
what do they win?
Postal address. They're going to win a $50 voucher thanks to the Trojans Restaurant and Bar. The fantastic people there have been supporters of the podcast for the last couple of years. And thank you very much to them. And, get in touch. We'll put in the postage thanks to Mungo the mailman. And we'll get a $50 voucher out to Nia. So thanks very much for participating. Thank you to everyone. We had a lot of interaction with our socials, which is awesome. Thank you very much. And, there
were some pisser names that got sent through.
There's some crackers. Absolute crackers.
On to the results. Want to get the results up?
Well, I'm still straight. Still recovering. So, those of you listening, obviously I am a bit phonetically challenged. And
I think they've picked that up so far. And I think that's become the entertainment of listening or watching this now, is just watching you struggle through.
That's the other thing. If you're on YouTube, you can see the shiny forehead of sweating.
I'll just share this story, listeners, while Bathy's getting this up. When we were commentating the finals, was it last year or the year before? No,
it's 2 years ago, believe it or not, brother.
Yeah, it wasn't no finals last year. 2 years ago. I think it was Razorbacks, or remember at the time, versus Lakes, and we decided who was going to announce the particular team sheets. And Bathy had a couple of difficult names. Wasn't sure how to pronounce Rowlini or something like that. I don't know.
I would have had Rowlini covered.
I don't know what names, but basically I had the Razorback sheet.
It was Var's name.
Yeah. Vatu Ulava?
Yeah.
I could have been wrong there.
I still got a man. I can't pronounce his name, but I got a man crush.
Yeah, you go by looks, not by name.
All correct.
So anyway, at the last moment, as we are going through the things, we're about to announce the team sheets. Bathy suddenly, because he wasn't confident with the Lakes team sheet, takes the Razorbacks team sheet and starts announcing the names. And I'm just sitting there and I can't do anything about it because it's live. So I've got to announce the Lakes. So I'm there frantically trying to go through, trying to sound out everything. I don't know how. I think it was one I stuffed up or something like that. But and you had all week to learn it.
You stuffed up Barry Jones.
Yeah. Push came to shove. You gone? No, Brett Cunningham.
Look, the last thing I'd want to be is Disrespectful.
The first thing you want me to be is disrespectful.
Let's get on to the women.
Yeah, let's do that. That was a long intro to the women's results. Anyway.
The Hornsby women getting the job done over Lakes, 17-5, competitive game by the looks of the score. And Kaylee Morris, Lucy Metcalf and Rebecca Rogers getting it done there. And the girls scoring 3 tries to 1.
It's a great follow as well, their socials. They put up a bit of tackling practice last week for training. And, man, those girls can hit.
Yeah, good stuff.
Crunching each other was great to watch.
And the first outing of the Ourimbong Wanderbacks. A little bit of gelling needs to happen there. I didn't get out to see the match, and it's certainly something I'll be trying to do over the next sort of week or so. But they went down. And I'll tell you what, Berner, judging by the score and knowing how good these Avoca Beach women are, they've done an outstanding job restricting the Avoca Beach women to 27 points to 0. They couldn't quite get over the try line, the Ourimbong women, but that's not unusual for their first sit out. I think what is unusual, respectfully, is defensively they've gone strong, because that's Avoca Beach women's side. That's a bloody good rugby team.
They got a good side though.
Yeah.
The Wanderbacks girls, they got a really good side. Just looking at the team sheet, and obviously they got some young guns in there, and it's the first game of just throwing 2 teams together and saying go out and play.
Yeah.
There's no structure or anything that you got around it, and you're up against Avoca as your first game. It's not like you get an easy run into it. So I think that's a good first outing. It's a loss, but it's a good first outing, and so they'll grow throughout the year.
Now, I've been doing a little bit of work behind the scenes with Benny from PMA Global.
Yep.
They are the company that support the podcast and provide all of our paraphernalia and giveaways. They also do jerseys and playing attire. So I've inquired about the possibility of getting an Ourimbong strip, and I think we might be a little bit hamstrung with time wise to get them done, but it's certainly I'm looking into. So
well, it doesn't stop us at trying. It'll probably be right by finals time when they're in the top
it
4.
will be, and judging by that score first hit out, the Ourimbong women are very much a chance of being there. And mate, I'll go as far as saying the Ourimbong women are the people's team.
I think they are the people's team. They're definitely the B&B team, but whether that translates to the people's team, I think they're the people's team. Let's call them the people's team.
And they're the team for the people.
They are. Of course they are.
So the Ourimbong women. Let's anyone who any representative from the Ourimbong Women's Association, if you could get in contact with us here at the podcast, we'd love to have a chat to you about trying to support you and getting some jerseys up and running. And I know Benny from PMA Global, who's a fantastic sponsor of ours, will get things moving as quickly as he possibly can to ensure that we can get a wonderful strip or an Ourimbong women's strip. How good would that be? Well, congratulations, Berner.
Thanks, mate.
Going to hand out some congratulations here at the podcast. We were going to get her on, but we ran out a little bit of time. First and foremost, how good's this? We've got a young wallaby in our mix, and she was from our Wasford team last year. So big congratulations to Ella Carlisle. She has been
That's huge.
She has made the Australian under-18 squad, which is absolutely phenomenal.
That's unreal.
Big ups for her. Well done, Ella. Outstanding. And obviously all those foundations were laid last year as part of that Wasford side. So that's brilliant. A big congratulations to you, Ella. Really well done. Very proud of you. And the podcast's own Ella Carlisle, I believe.
Definitely. We're claiming her obviously first.
Andy Lawler, he's a guy from the Avoca Beach Club from memory, did a bit of refereeing as well. Congratulations to Andy. He made his first grade rugby debut reffing in the ACT competition.
Yeah, right.
So that's no mean feat, that. So congratulations, Andy. And we've got another champion, champion of the people, people's champion.
People's champion.
People's champion. Scotty Hanley scoring 1,000 points on the weekend.
Definitely the champion of the people, Scotty.
Yeah. People's champion.
That's crazy,
treble.
isn't it?
Yeah. So big congratulations to Scotty on 1,000 points. Well done.
When you were talking about the amount of points Dankett scored, I'm like 38 points. I don't know if I've scored that in my career. I was going through tries thinking, did I score one that year? I'm thinking, imagine just racking up points left, right, and centre. 1,000 points for your club. That's crazy.
Actually, and whilst I'm congratulating too, let me just jump on this because I forgot to raise it earlier on. Bree, who's a new listener, she's involved in the Lakes Club and and I'm going to say new to playing rugby this year because surely she would have listened last year.
Yep.
But Bree got in contact with us at the podcast just to let us know that last week prior when we gave Avoca wraps for sort of handing, giving the carry-on women a big helping hand with 4 or 5 players. She just let us know that the Lakes basically did the same thing with the Razorback women. So obviously, big ups to the Lakes women too.
Yep.
They're on their efforts in supporting Ourimbong so everyone can get a game. So great to have you on board, Bree, and thanks for the heads up and keep that sort of information coming. All of you keep that information coming. We love hearing it here at the podcast.
I do love that in the women's comp how there is that idea around the competition that the competition has to go ahead. So if people are down, it's like, it's just a forfeit and we'll give you some players and, you can go play, we'll play the game. There's not, you got the tribalism and you do want to have that obviously in your game and you want to play for your club, but at the end of the day, they're quickly realising is it's rugby, and if there's players there that you guys need, take them. The score, whatever it's going to reflect, on the scoreboard is what it's going to be. But getting the games of rugby in and keeping the girls around rugby, and that's why I think having the Ourimbong girls there is so good that it didn't just go, okay, we're going to go our own separate ways and we're not going to play anymore. Yep. They joined together and have a club, and now they're the people's club. And
that's something that I think everyone has to bear in mind is that the game has to come first.
Yep.
And that has generally been what has given rugby its strength and maintenance and of sort of generally speaking a positive culture is putting the game first.
Yep.
There's none of this, it's our game, it's not our game. We are just custodians of the game and we hand them on to someone else. No one owns the game. And so we've got to look after it and we've got to nurture it the best we can. And I think the women are really good examples of rugby people who are looking after the game. So congratulations to all.
All right, well, on to the preview for round 5. Had to think there. 3, but 5. Whatever it is, +2. All right, so we've got a couple of night games this week, which is exciting.
How good.
So I'm just going to read off to the side, sorry viewers.
Love a good night game.
So let's go to the women's competition first. The first game will be Hornsby hosting Ourimbong at Pennant Hills Oval, number 1.
There you go. Pennant Hills, the home of Hornsby.
The home of Hornsby for round 5.
There actually is some unconfirmed reports. It could be Gosford's 4th home ground as well. So, Pennant Hills, well done.
Congratulations, Pennant Hills, for being a huge part of the Central Coast rugby competition.
It's the heart of the rugby on the coast, isn't it?
Would you like to give you a tip? It's the reason I was throwing to you.
Mate, I think I'm not confident, but I'm going to say the Hornsby women in a very tight one. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Ourimbong women have draw. Can I have a draw?
You can get no, but right. I mean, if you like sitting on the fence, we can go that.
Hornsby.
I think the head's saying Hornsby, the heart's saying the Wanderbacks. Is that what I'm hearing?
Actually, you know what? I'm going with the Wanderbacks.
Yeah,
the people's team. It's team of the people. Who are you going, pal?
I'm with you. I'm going to go the team of the people.
Get stuffed, Hornsby. We're back on the Wanderbacks.
Wanderbacks to beat Hornsby. It's a huge call, but they're the people's team, and the people's team need backing. They need support.
Right. They're a team of the people.
All right, night game. Terrigal host Avoca.
What a cracker! This will
match
be
of the round.
Yeah, really good game. This. I think it'll be a rip.
These are always so close. Like you can go either way with them.
Yeah, and
I usually just go whoever's home ground it is. That's it. That's what I base it on.
Yeah, that may be my decision. I'll just go with the Terrigal side because of home ground. We go back last year. I think Terrigal just snuck away with the win last year.
Yeah,
and then lost to Avoca at home last year. So I think it's going to be an absolute cracking match. But the Terrigal women for me.
Yeah, I'll go Terrigal just because of the home ground. That's purely what it's on. If they played this week at Avoca, I'd probably pick Avoca. So I think 50-50.
So take that, Terrigal women. That's what Berner thinks of you.
Second night game. The Lakes host Warnervale at Slade Park. The battle for North supremacy.
There we go. Look at that.
Battle for the Queens of the North.
I
got
think,
a King of the North.
I think the Lakes women are going to be a competitive side, and they're going to get more competitive as the season goes on. But I'm going to back my Wildcat women to win that match? Let me guess. You're going to go Lakes.
I've got this overall thing saying Lakes. There's this voice in the back of my head just saying Lakes. So I'm going to go Lakes.
There we go. Yeah, I think this will be a really good game too.
I don't know why I feel that way. I think a couple of weeks ago I was thinking Warnervale are really going to, I don't know. Anyway, I'm feeling Lakes, so I'm going to go Lakes. And my feelings have never been correct. So it's probably a Warnervale thrashing in the cards. So that's our 3 games. Hornsby host the Wanderbacks, Terrigal host Avoca, and Lakes host Warnervale.
Good luck to all women playing. Get in, rip in, and have a great time out in the paddock.
All right, on to the men's. First game, Wee Wee host Gosford at Wee Wee Oval. It's actually strange saying Wee Wee hosting at Wee Wee Oval, or even a team just hosting at their home ground. Doesn't usually happen very often these days. Move on from that one. Who have you got?
Wee Wee. No, I don't know. I don't bloody know. The reason I don't know is because Gosford had 93 points put on them last week. I watched them play against Hornsby. I didn't see that game against Terrigal. And they were plucky and they were competitive. And the reason why I don't know is because Hornsby then got flogged the week after. So I think there is too much continuity in regards to players who have played together before for Wee Wee. So I'm going to back Wee Wee to win. Yep.
I think I'm going to go Wee Wee as well. I think if they get on a roll, I think they're shot for confidence at the moment with no combinations or anything. And I think from experience, Wee Wee hits their straps about round 6, round 7 when they get their full team together.
It's round 5.
It's getting close there, so they might warm up a bit. They might score a couple of tries, leak a few less. So I'm going to back Wee Wee, but I think it will be a close one. I think this will be a really good one. I think it's a winnable game for Gosford. They've really been up against it as well with such a good day for them at Edlong when they hosted Hornsby there.
Yeah.
To feel that the couple of the grades and not having to pull people from everywhere, as you mentioned, and a bit of a wake up call against Terrigal, but Terrigal are clinical. They're going to do that.
Yeah,
They've got the depth in the squad to do that. So,
I'm not sure if they had the depth of playing group that they did for Hornsby.
Yeah.
So if that can be rectified for this Wee Wee game, I think it's going to give them every chance. So I think it's a good opportunity for them to potentially get their first win of the season.
And I think they'll know that as well, with knowing that they can get that win. Whereas against Terrigal, that's a lot harder. You've got to be realistic and think that, okay, we're probably going to get the W here, but we know what can we sort of work on for it. So I'm going to go Wee Wee for that one. Next game, Hornsby host the Razorbacks at Pennant Hills Oval number 1.
The flogging by Carry On concerned me. Just Carry On winning didn't surprise me, but the size of their win is a little bit concerning.
Yep.
And I think the Razorbacks are a type of side who can, if you get in a graft and a grind with them, they're going to love it.
Yep.
I think that if Hornsby are going to win this game, they're going to win it through speed. They're going to win it through feeding their backs and setting the platform. I don't think they really set a strong platform against Gosford a couple of weeks ago, and clearly that didn't happen against the Hornsby against the Carron Wanderers last week. So they're issues that I think they're going to need to address. I think Ourimbong will win the game. I think it'll be tight. I don't think it'll be overly exciting or expansive, but I think the Ourimbong side are good enough to graft out a victory here.
Yep. I agree with you on that one. It would be good to see the Razorbacks have a settled team. I know they got a few to come back, but I saw Matt King was back there as well. Rob Peden was there at 8 as well, which is a nice little inclusion.
Cameo, or was he not
I'm not too sure, but I'd be pretty stoked if I was a Razorback. He's playing again this week. So
Matt King's a bloody good footballer too.
Yeah.
Does that mean Grangey's been hooked from?
I didn't see Grangey's name there, but I don't see how you can hook him with what he did the week before. So I think Matt King...
You win a game when Grangey's your halfback. You lose when the halfback's the halfback.
Yeah, I mean...
Outrageous decision.
Yeah, you can't drop. Matt King... When in the 2015 grand final, Matt King won that for Ourimbong because playing halfback, and that's like ingrained in my mind as like he's gun number 9. But Grangey's efforts...
Well, Grangey's the future, isn't he, at 9?
Well,
really.
He is. He's slimmed down for it. I don't see how Matt King comes back and just expects his position. So I think Matt's probably 13 or something like that.
Hang in there, Grangey, chin up, pal. You'll be right. You'll get that 9 back.
Razorbacks. Terrigal host Avoca.
Be a good game, night game. Always a good sort of spectacle. I see the Terrigal Beach winning this side. I see the Trojans. I just think they're going to be far too clinical in regards to the use and possession of the ball. I wouldn't be, if I was Michael Farrelly, the coach. I certainly wouldn't be trying to get into an arm wrestle with the Avoca Beach side, because they'll love that. They'll eat that up. And when you're fielding, six front rows in your forward pack, the last thing you're going to want to be doing is playing an expensive game. So if Terrigal aren't smart enough to play that expensive game, and they try and outmuscle them and put on a bit of a bravado show instead of an intelligent game, Avoca will love that, and they will love the challenge, and I believe they will rise to the challenge. So Terrigal have far too much talent and ability around the from 1 through to 15. So I think Terrigal will win the match, but I think they've got to be smart at how they go about it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. I think Avoca's going to have the size on Terrigal. I think Terrigal lack a little bit of size this year from what we've been told, and Avoca are definitely not lacking that at the moment. But I think I'm actually excited for this game because of Avoca's coming off 2 gritty wins.
Yeah,
so they've got that confidence there, and they've already got the 2 wins, so they'd be ready for fire for Terrigal.
Yep.
Whereas I'd be a bit more concerned if they just went down to Carrigal and they just lost that game to Razorbacks, but they can obviously grind out the wins. They've got 2 good wins and are on a bit of a high, so I reckon this is going to be a cracker game. I'm still back in Terrigal just based on they are at home and the size of that victory on last Saturday, and just the
concerning thing for Terrigal is a flogging last week.
Yep.
I'm led to believe the trial match the week before was a flogging.
Yep.
So they may not have to have grafted or worked hard yet. So that again, I'm sort of repeating myself a little bit. That may work in Avoca Beach's favour. Terrigal are too smart, and they've got too many good footballers on that side to fall into that trap. They've just got to ensure that's how they go about the match. So
still a good position to be in when you're just flogging teams, isn't it? It's not the worst spot to be in. The other night game is the Battle of the North. The Lakes host Warnervale.
This will be a bloody good game of rugby.
Yeah.
Flip a coin for the match of the round, to be honest. This game in my opinion could almost be more entertaining from a throwing the ball, chance in your hand, and just playing fast rugby, attacking rugby. This is going to be an absolute cracker.
Well, I think the other thing is that last couple of years, the Lakes have always been, a neck above Warnervale.
Yeah.
The Lakes have been really contending for that top sort of 3, and Warnervale have been those bottom sort of 3.
Yeah.
So I think when they come up against each other, it's always fiery, but Lakes have got that class, where I think Warnervale have clawed that back up on them this year.
Yeah.
So I think this will be unreal. And I think there's a couple, or I don't know how many, I know there's at least one that's gone from Lakes to Warnervale. So, and there's always that rivalry anyway. They all know each other up that way, and I think that's I think it'll be a really good showing, because it's Warnervale's first time in years they've genuinely had a sniff of beating Lakes, and they've come close a couple of times, but it's more Lakes having the better side, and Warnervale just trying to pull off a bit of the upset. But this is when they're genuinely evenly matched.
Concern for the Lakes for me is the draw against Ourimbong, against the Razorbacks, I should say. They had the game in the bag. They had it under control and sort of let it slip through their fingers in that second half. And the ease in which they won last week's game. So have they been tested for 80 minutes?
Yeah.
And are Warnervale capable of doing that, which all suggestions would be is they probably are. But Warnervale themselves, they've only had the one hit out as well. So I think it's a difficult one to pick. I'm going to go with the Wildcats, and I'm going to go with the Wildcats bringing a little bit more structure into their game. If they try and play fast flowing and at-lib rugby, I think will really play into the Lakes' hand. But I'm going to back the Wildcats in a spectacular match.
Yeah, this is flip with the coin stuff for me.
Yeah, 100%. It is. I think this is probably the most difficult match to pick, to be honest.
I'm going to back in the Wildcats in a very, very tight one. I never thought I'd say that.
You heard it here first.
I can see it going either way. I can see, that there's so much as well with them coming. I think the Wildcats would really be up for it, and there's so many players in that team that'll just be, ready to shine. And this is the one time they can take it to Lakes, because that is the grudge match up there. So I think this is the time that they can really sort of stamp their authority. So I'm going to go Warnervale, but not confidently at all. Well, Bathy, that's the wrap up of round 5. No, it's not. It's the preview of round 5.
Correct.
The wrap up of round 5 will be next week. Before we do move on, something exciting on the weekend, which we haven't seen in a while, is that Super Rugby started to get a little bit of traction in Australia. And when I say traction, I mean it was on the news.
Yeah.
It was all over social media. It was actually pushed through things.
Winning helps, doesn't it?
Winning does help. And to put it into perspective, Australia played against, or 4 of the 5 Australian teams played against New Zealand opposition on the weekend, and 2 of the 4 won. But that was enough to obviously send everyone into raptures. But I still think it's a successful weekend.
Absolutely.
It's sort of sad that you're sort of saying half the teams win. You go, this is an unreal weekend for Australian rugby. But hence, so far is New Zealand above us at the moment, and what we're prioritising as well. And I think there's that gap's been so big. But we had the Waratahs, which beat the Crusaders. They were $15 outsiders.
Yep.
To beat them was huge. And then we also had the Brumbies, who took down the Hurricanes. But there was a couple of tight losses. Reds went down by 3 points to the Chiefs, and the Force got done by a couple of points by the Blues as well.
I'm a pretty passionate Waratahs supporter, and I'd missed the game. I was doing something, and so I was checking the scores on getting the updates. Oh, bloody hell, it's 7-0, go Tars, you know. And then it was 17-7 or something along those lines. I'm going, shit, I can't start watching now. If I start watching, the bastards will go backwards, and so I'm watching, and I come back, and it's 27-24 or whatever the full-time score was, and there's 3 minutes to go. I was still debating whether to turn the TV on with 3 minutes to go.
I am the curse.
So I snuck it on with the last minutes to see Jake Gordon sort of kick it out, and that brilliant interview with Tane Edmonds.
That was unreal.
Yeah, that's what we need a bit back, and please, New South Wales Waratahs, please manage that talent appropriately.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they got it sorted this year. They're just looking at the coaching stuff. And they had some, obviously, because they're winning now, it's like, well, why are they winning? What are they doing different this year? So all the interviews that come out about it and everything, and having Hooper back obviously helps. So, it's great they're getting the win there. But that's what we sort of need, is a national team, or, at least at Super Rugby level, for that or state team to be pushing and to be winning, because winning helps so much. When you are winning, especially in a nation where we expect to win sport, like that's what we do. We win sport. Yeah. And if we're not winning, we just go, who cares about it? But if you got a team that's winning and the Waratahs are going well and they're killing it, you're more likely to make time in your life to switch the Waratahs game on, which means the kids watch it. And, that's where it sort of filters through. So hopefully a bit more success.
Bit of free-to-air coverage too, which we've spoken about before, helps.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Be very nice. That'll do us, mate.
Guess what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm going back to John Hunter Hospital.
Exciting times. See ya!